Hey, watch me ain't gonna lie, you know. When it is you have friends and family and whatnot who just hype you up, it is truly, truly amazing what that could do for your ego and for your persona. I must admit, big up to Master Control. It's your boy Smitty on A Man's Perspective right here on Real TV. I am your host, Smitty. If you guys want to, get in on it, you want to talk to me, whatever the case is, you can call me at 744-7325, 744-7325. And as I always say, if you're on your device and you want to run home because you just want to save that data, you could get home and look at this show on Digicel, which is on 32, Amplia 116, Green Dot 66, Airlink 25, or you could download the Tigo app. So we have a great show for you guys lined up today. Unfortunately, we don't have our guest once again. I think people are running away, them artists and them running away because they know I want to ask some deep questions. As I said, NCW, I still waiting for you to call me back. Eh? You tell me no already, but you're talking plenty. And here's my boy. You could come here and you could talk and lay it out too. I'm just saying that. Anyway, as I said, we have a great show lined up for you today. In Master Control, Roberto. I know y'all can't see him, but he's there just hyping himself up on whatever the case is. So, I always saying this, in order for us to go forward, we have to know where we came from. So, last week, because this is only a show that airs once a week. If you would like the show to air more, you could tell me. That's not a problem. But last week, a lot of things transpired. And again, this is not a political show, but you guys keep giving anti-cams a lot of ammunition, man. There must be something put in place at all steps, all intervals, for persons to be held accountable. Because what we do on A Man's Perspective is that we hold people accountable for the mess, for the good, for the bad that you do. Something in human resource called the sandwich effect. Yeah? In that sandwich effect, what you do is you tell persons what you've done wrong, what you have done right, and what you could do better. Having said that, let's look at our very first, I believe it's a video, where an accident took place with a public transport vehicle. So Master Control, let's take that in right now. Let's start that over, Master Control. So stop it right there, Master Control. Pause it. As you can clearly see, this public transport vehicle, their door is open, or its door is open. Now, I am not sure. I have not gotten the information. I do not know if the person went up, ascended the stairs, and then became disoriented and fell backwards. I do not know. I do not know if the person was descending, coming down the stairs, and fell. I do not know. What I do know is this. Run the clip. You're going to see the person fall. Stop. The person has fallen. If this person was coming into the bus, are you trying to tell me that the person was supposed to be in the bus, and before the person is seated in the bus, you are already driving off? Continue the clip, Master Control. Look at that woman's face. Look at her hand. She's literally beating the ground in pain, ladies and gentlemen. Then he continues, because when you go to stop, the vehicle tends to give a particular roll, especially if you're on a little incline or whatever the case may be. Someone helps her out from under the wheel. This could have been such a big tragedy. We could have been having a death. Do you see that? Now the driver comes out. Do you see what he's holding? For those of you that may be a bit, concerned, this is a bit graphic. Come back to me, Master Control. So I'm asking you guys, where does the buck stop? We are so concerned about government, which we ought to be. We are so concerned about the police, which we ought to be. But our own individual mistakes, our own individual things that we do on a daily basis, we don't like to watch. Is it that we don't like being seen in a mirror for the mess that we do? Tell me now. Master Control, tell me, because I must admit, I do not understand. I don't understand why it's so easy for us to look. Where's the outrage? You remember, we don't know what happened, what transpired that caused the driver to move, his foot slip. We don't know. We just trump it up and it's an accident. It is. But where's the outrage? Where's the people calling for this driver to be held accountable? It's an unfortunate accident, isn't it? If it was anybody else, police, government, Coast Guard, they want the head. I agree with you guys. I totally agree with you guys. We need to hold our officials to a high standard. The buck stops with us. You ought to be held to a higher standard. I agree. I totally agree. When are we going to start doing it for ourselves? When? Huh? When are we going to start doing it for ourselves? But me saying that in one breath, it's unfortunate that in the next clip, I have to show something that is equally as problematic, which is the overzealousness. And here's the problem, Master Control, here's the problem. The next clip shows the overzealousness of certain people. But these certain people come from the fabric of our community by themselves. It's just as soon as they reach across there, wherever there is, they automatically is no longer people from the community now. They automatically is Babylon, or they automatically is Bups, or whatever the case may be. But here, on a man's perspective, we honestly do fair journalism and fair opinions. Fair. And the same way that I can go after someone who did something that was an unfortunate accident, he was negligent in performing his duty in safety. Whereas in this clip, run it, Master Control. You can clearly see when this person decides to actually stop shaking. Officers are doing a little too much. Kick, punch. These officers literally doing Street Fighter. You need to get better people on the street who doing camera work, eh? I'm just saying. And now, one of the persons that was being restrained is being put in handcuffs. Now, mind you, I saying the word restrained. Now, rewind it again. I want to show you all something. Go from the top again, Master Control. Go from the top. As this person is, I want you to look at the officer running. Try to see if you could focus your right. The officer running is the one who is literally on the right-hand side of the screen holding him down. He did put in a couple of hits. Then the one that is overzealous, just give her a kick, was being held by the WPC. And he is going in. Now again, I'm not trying to bat for the officers. Me, you know, if the person spit on the face. Me, you know, I don't know what happened. But you clearly have tools, one of which is a baton. You clearly have tools. Look, the woman police is literally having a conversation with the one that was being overzealous. And this is another thing. Here's the one who has a secondary weapon, a heavy arm as they call it, who is the one who's actually doing the physical arrest, putting the handcuffs on the person and escorting him. That shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the man doing that. Because if something should happen and this man who ought to be feeling a bit aggrieved turns out and say, hey, nah, I'm not taking no lockup, and he turns around now. Or because his hands is behind his back and the weapon is slung, is that the correct term? Yes, slung incorrectly. Officers, I ain't going to sugarcoat nothing, you know. It was slung incorrectly. When you have a weapon that is literally on a sling, you do not have you make sure the weapon is safe, but you don't have the weapon doing this, like an arm. That's crazy. Here, sorry, Master Control, I know you're going to get vexed with me. Here is where you should have your weapon, so that you can easily transition. You don't have your weapon slinging here. These are the things that persons watch at. And they start talking a whole set of mess about the police. When those police who actually, there are police who actually try to do their duty with care, with responsibility, who hold back their emotions, because that's what the job is for. Not for, that's what the job is. You ought to be trained enough to hold back most of your emotions. I can't say all, because you're human. But that's what I saw. Master Control, tell me if I'm wrong, you know. That what I saw was not anywhere close to where I would like the police service and their public relations towards the people of Trinidad and Tobago to be. Because the gentleman who ran into the fight was capable of subduing the gentleman most of that interaction that we saw. But I want to be fair to the police. The officer that was kicking and all those type of things, which was wrong. How many of you could probably take a spit in your face and not react, boy? Now, mind you, I'm not saying that anybody in that interaction spat on anybody's face. I'm speculating right now. I don't know. I'm simply saying because the interaction, the recording of the interaction starts so late, we don't know. But let's take it from a point of view where this particular officer feels so aggrieved that he felt overwhelmed enough to let it go. So a lot of those strikes, especially that one, a lot of those strikes constitute something. We're not even going to go there because I'm quite sure that this would be an open case in some regard, be it disciplinary or otherwise. So I'm not even going to talk about it that way. However, we need to have a little more responsible officers outside there who are trained and ready to serve. Yeah? So once again, if you would like to call and you want to debate more on what I just said, 744-7325, send a voice note, 744-7325, the exact same one. Or you could contact me on TikTok, and I'm going to go live after my next piece. Yeah? So we're going to be taking a break, and we're going to be right back right after this.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
Hi, I'm Joanne Ogaru, and welcome to Smart Talk. SMART is the acronym for the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago.
And I am Melissa Brown. Smart Talk exists to give single mothers and families real conversation, real data, real advocacy.
And I am Shermaine Wickham Howe, President and Founder of the Single Mothers Association, highlighting all issues affecting single mothers, facts, situation, solution, empowerment. So tune in at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. every Wednesday on Real TV with Smart Talk.
I am Avinash Singh, former Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. I will be hosting the next Harvest, a forward-looking agricultural TV series exploring innovation, resilience, and opportunity across the Caribbean farming landscape. Join me right here on Real TV every Wednesday at 9 a.m. with repeats. See you soon.
You're viewing Real TV, ultimate in programming. Thanks for choosing us. You're viewing Real TV, ultimate in programming. Thanks for choosing us.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on the news, discuss social issues and current affairs with a twist. Every Monday to Friday in real time, right here on Real TV.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. is thermally and acoustically insulated, provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited, building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Ready to take your sales career to the next level? If you have a passion for connecting with clients, building meaningful relationships, and delivering results, we want you on our team. Join a dynamic, motivated environment where your experience matters, your ideas are valued, and your drive defines your success. Step into a role with real opportunity. Join the sales team at Real TV, where your future begins.
Call us today at 292-6470 or WhatsApp us at 384-7142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Welcome to the Power Play, the most exciting period in sport. Join us every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. as we bring to you all things sport. We break down football, cricket, basketball, all the latest sports in the Caribbean and of course across the world, right here on Real TV, your station for local sport. Real to the heart, local to the core.
You're viewing Real TV, ultimate in programming. Thanks for choosing us.
Mind you, I don't know if you guys heard that Newsday is closing its business after some 30-something years being in Trinidad and Tobago and on our shelves. Newsday will greatly be missed, I must admit. There is a transport officer, a well-known transport officer. I know him well. He's a character, you know. However, Mr. Brian Sankar Singh, I hope I did not butcher your name, sir, wrote a piece in the commentary section of the Newsday titled "In Defiance of the Increased Fines." And I wanted to read this for you guys. So, it states, I quote, "For decades, TNT has lived with crime as a constant companion. It didn't arrive with economic hardship, and it didn't disappear during prosperity. Even in the height of the oil boom, where money flowed and jobs were plentiful, crime remained stubbornly high. That alone tells us something uncomfortable but necessary. Crime here, is not only about poverty, it is also about tolerance. Even as a young man in my 20s living in Trinidad in the 80s, I have always believed that you cannot stop serious crime while ignoring the small ones." Let me read that again. "I have always believed that you cannot stop serious crime while ignoring the small ones. A society that shrugs at littering, reckless driving, public disorder, and everyday lawlessness quietly trains itself to accept worse without batting an eyelid. When minor offenses go unchecked, they send a message far louder than any press conference. The rules are optional. Even though at that time, for me, this idea seemed logical, I could not understand how the people in power could not arrive at the same conclusion as a 20-year-old. So imagine my surprise decades later to find out that this idea is not new. Criminologists have long referred to it as the broken windows theory. You hear broken windows theory? The principle is simple. When small signs of disorder are allowed to spread, petty crimes such as broken windows, graffiti, aggressive driving, illegal dumping, they signal that no one is in charge. That signals emboldens more serious offenders. That signal emboldens more serious offenders. New York City learned this lesson in the 1990s by aggressively enforcing minor infractions such as fare evasion, vandalism, and public disorder. The city saw dramatic drops in the violent crime over the following years. Homicides, which is murders, fell by more than 70% between 1990 and 2000. The streets didn't become safer because of luck. They became safer because standards were enforced in the general population. Trinidad and Tobago, by contrast, often does the opposite. Murder statistics are debated while ignoring the daily chaos playing out on our roads and in our neighborhoods. Dangerous overtaking, driving on the shoulder, speeding and reckless driving, litter thrown from car windows, noise laws ignored, traffic lights treated as suggestions, cars and trucks that are unfit for the road, driving on the highways and byways. These are not harmless acts. They reflect a culture. Say it again. These are not harmless acts. They reflect a culture where enforcement is rare and consequences uncertain. Ignoring these everyday misdemeanors means the government and law enforcement behave in a reactive manner when it comes to bigger crimes and felonies. When the average citizen sees these behaviors go unpunished day after day, confidence in the rule of law erodes. People stop believing the state is serious. Criminals notice too. If no one cares about the small things, why would they fear consequences for the big ones? Police data consistently show that many serious crimes are committed by repeat offenders who previously had multiple minor run-ins with the law. Each missed opportunity to intervene early becomes a stepping stone towards something worse. Zero tolerance does not mean brutality or abuse of power. Let me read that again. Zero tolerance does not mean brutality or abuse of power. It means consistency. It means that laws on the books actually matter. This is not about harassing the poor or criminalizing survival. It is about fairness and the proactive enforcement of the rule of law. When everyone is held to the same basic standards, whether they are drivers, business owners, public officials, or citizens, it creates order. Order creates predictability. Predictability creates safety. Governments often promise crackdowns on crime, but real intent is not measured by speeches. It is measured by whether a reckless driver is stopped, whether illegal dumping is fined, whether traffic laws are enforced every day, not just after tragedy strikes. These small acts of enforcement are how trust is rebuilt. Trinidad and Tobago does not lack laws, it lacks follow-through. If we want to change the crime narrative, we must stop pretending that violence exists in isolation. Crime grows in the soil of neglect, and the first step to uprooting it is showing clearly and consistently that disorder, no matter how small, will no longer be tolerated without consequence. Come back to me, Master Control. Let me go on my TikTok one time so that the people and them can see and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. Let me lower it down one time. So guys, the gentleman is correct. His grammar is a bit off, but the gentleman is correct. I said it last week with the broken windows theory. We as a people need to understand, unfortunately as it may be, that we have, unfortunately, grown in an environment that we ourselves started. The government didn't come in your community and put graffiti on your walls. The government didn't come in your community and put a whole set of garbage on the roadway. That's you. The police didn't do it. That's you. Granted, the government may have also not put infrastructure in place for you to be able to put the garbage somewhere properly. As I said, on a man's perspective here, we being real. So they may not have done it. Does that mean that you have to go and put all the garbage, heap it up in a corner that causing rats, this, that, whatever the case is? Your children continuously pass there every single day, and no one thinks maybe we should stop doing that there? Maybe we could start acting like the 1%ers and chip up and we put $1 $20. 1,000 people in the community, that's $20,000. And we build something to put the garbage in. It's pretty big and whatnot, and it's piling up. But we make a sliding door so that the garbage collectors could pull it out instead of having to go in. I'm not saying that you're paying taxes for nothing. Master Control, I'm not saying that you don't have the right to ask for those things. I am saying that unfortunately, one of the problems that we are having right now today in the country is the tickets. But who caused us to be in the position that we're in? The roads? The roads cause us to be in the position that we're in right now? You find that because the road's bad, you should be allowed to speed on the what you call it, the side of the road. What is called that side of the road, guys? Help me out enough. I always forget. What is called that thing on the side of the road? But the shoulder. Thanks very much, Master Control. I should allow you to just drive at the shoulder. I don't have the video, but there was a video of a green band maxi passing on the shoulder, what I would assume to be the Carney environment. He may or may not have made contact with a particular vehicle. Now the vehicle the person driving the vehicle wrong in going at the side, on the other side of the roadway of oncoming traffic to try to tell them, hey, you know, bounce me. He may have been wrong. But again, we're human, and we're supposed to get a man a blind because he's trying to explain to the person, hey, you bounce me. So we should give him a blind? We shouldn't? Okay, no problem. But why are you all not holding yourself accountable the same way and hold that driver accountable for what he's doing? Because majority of all, if all was in the maxi, none of all going and say, hey, drive, I stop in here, I can't deal with that driving. Not a soul inside that maxi that was aired to be doing that type of mess. Not anybody inside that maxi taxi decided, hey, drive, drop me out here. You're driving stupid. Excuse me. Not one. You know why? I could tell you why. Because once you are not being affected, it does not bother you. Once you are not affected, it does not bother you. I'm not here for all. I am here for you to like me, obviously. I want some feedback. You know, I want your sponsorship. But I'm here to talk the truth. That's what we do here on A Man's Perspective. We talk the truth. At the end of the day, what the gentleman in the newspaper article mentioned was fundamentals that we unfortunately don't want to go back to. We have gotten so familiar. How should I put this? Yes, I will put it that way. We've gotten so familiar with chaos. We've gotten so familiar with doing the wrong thing that the wrong thing feels as if it's right because it helps me to live. Case in point, vending. Illegal vending is wrong. But because it helps me to live, I should be allowed to do it. Because you know why? Everybody else does it. Anyway, really and truly, our topic here today is submission. But you know me, like to talk, so just went on a rampage just now. So Master Control, what we're going to do, I know we're close to the next break. Let's go to Mercy Manuel and let the people and them have a little understanding. So for the ladies who may be looking at me right now, I'm going to call the number again. It's 744-7325. We're going to go over a little over into the break time. But after that, I want you guys to call me because I know you're going to have something to say about this. This is how I feel about submission. I do not believe that we are in a place where we can fully submit to authority, authoritative people. We're not in a place where we could do that. Therefore, we don't know how to submit in our relationships, and that goes for men and women. But I want you ladies to look at this and understand the analogy of how deep and how far this lady took it. Take a look at this.
God made Adam a suitable helpmate. And he made that helpmate not because she's weaker, but because God has given men a capacity and a responsibility that women do not have. And we have to be honest about it. We can say he's not a man, he doesn't know how to lead, he doesn't whatever. There's still a capacity inside of him that God did not give us as women. And one of the biggest examples that I can give of that, imagine it's raining and you're in New York City. And if you've ever been to New York City or in France and it starts raining and people start selling umbrellas on the street, those $5, $10 umbrellas, they're not worth much, but they get the job done until you get home. Imagine you have that man. You have the man that gets the job done, isn't anything special, but he gets the job done. That man, no matter how little you view him, is made to handle the rain. You were not made to handle the rain, but you were made to hold up that which can handle the rain. If you didn't have that umbrella, you would come back home smelling like what you were poured on, what poured on you. When a man comes back in as that umbrella, he gets dried quickly, water repellent, it falls off of him, and no matter how equipped you thought he still was built for the rain. The difference also, some of you want that Neiman Marcus umbrella. Some of you want the wood handle. Those things are heavy. And if God gave you a man like that, then you have to be the woman that can hold up that man. Because an umbrella that is not used, it can be for the rain, for the sun, it shields, it provides shade, it allows what's under it not to be touched. We are the vessel, not weaker. We are the vessel that was meant to let the one that God gave us be held up and used for what he was made. So now, as a wife, I want to say, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to sunburn. My skin's not built for that. So instead, I'm going to let the man be who he was meant to be. And if God gave me, which he did, my man's about as heavy as this table. That means God made me capable of holding him up. If my man is not doing what he was made to do, it's because I, as his wife, am not holding him up. One thing I will credit myself to is that man can come and do what God has him to do, because on the back end, he is being held up and held down. Not about me, but to say this about submission. If you think submission is because the man is doing what you believe is right for a man to do, then you've missed your assignment before God. God will bless your obedience as being a wife. The Bible's full of it. Ephesians and Corinthians in the Old Testament. Just start looking for them. And please read Love and Respect. It will change your life. Submission does not make you a weaker vessel. It just makes you the part of the machine that is needed to function, but entrusting somebody else's responsibility that's what they were made for, to do what God has made them to do. So I value submission. Submit one to another is not in the same way. He is not going to submit to me the way I'm going to submit to him. That's not even biblical. As he submits to Christ, so I submit to him who has submitted to Christ. If God has made the man the head of the house to love his wife as he is to love the church, God is going to hold him to a standard. God is also going to hold you to a standard. And it's not going to be dependent on, did you value him, or did you do right by him because he did right by you, or you did right by him because you did right by what God commanded you to do. You will see a dynamic transformation inside of your home when you begin to obey his word. Submission is our safety as wives. Submission is your safety as a wife. Whether you have, because I want to believe if you married him, he has good intentions. Even if he doesn't have, or if you're with him, or if you love him, it's because you believe that's a good person, even if they don't have it together yet. Keep trusting God, but allow your heart to not be tainted if he's doing right by you. God will make him do right by you. God knows how to reach the man that he gave you so that you don't suffer and cry, so your child doesn't suffer and cry, and so you don't live in a house that is just like what you've always seen. You will be the chain breaker of marriages and relationships and love in this life if you just do it God's way.
Amen.
Amen. Wow.
All right, guys. So we're back on A Man's Perspective. Your host, Smitty, on Real TV. The reason I'm laughing is because I wanted Master Control, Mr. Roberto, to listen to that specifically, because he and I always have conversations on the depth of a God-fearing man, a God-fearing woman, and the depth of relationships. And that does not just go for romantic relationships, but it does say something for persons who are in romantic relationships. All right? So, I'm going to go into it. Some of you all may not like me after this. However, we ought to talk about it. But we'll talk about it right after this break. We'll be right back.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Welcome to the Power Play, the most exciting period in sport. Join us every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. as we bring to you all things sport. We break down football, cricket, basketball, all the latest sports in the Caribbean and of course across the world, right here on Real TV, your station for local sport. Real to the heart, local to the core.
You're viewing Real TV, ultimate in programming. Thanks for choosing us.
All right, guys, we're back. What's the levels there for me? Right, we're back. So, what you just saw, guys, hey, hey, what you just saw was the most perfect way that I could have ever said it myself or have heard someone say what submission is like. We as men are the umbrellas. There are so many men that can't be with a strong woman because they don't understand their role after they are stripped of an independent woman who provides for herself. Because we are providers. But after we done get stripped of being a provider, What is our role? What is our function? Men don't get it, eh? But it's so weird that this woman got it. Because, what is an umbrella? An umbrella is a barrier that protects, that lends another layer of protection from elements. But these elements are specific. What about the elements that are not specific and are, I'm going to say elemental, but spiritual? There are men that don't even realize their own strength, that their mere presence in a woman's life defends that woman from the elements of spiritual warfare. Just the mere presence of that man. Because God would have sent that man to you. Hey, watch me. People saying, hey, I was in relationships and that man wasn't for me. Of course he wasn't for you. But he was for you for that period of time because he was meant to show you a reason, for a season, to teach you something. But getting back to the point, men are that umbrella. The things that your skin not supposed to take, not can take, you probably could do it, but you're not supposed to take it. But my skin, man's skin, it's hard. You feel me? We were born, bred for this. But if you take away our ability to provide because it's being done the way you want it, and then you usurp our responsibility by usurping the respect that is supposed to be given to us, you take away the last bit of what we are as men. Because as she says, God has given men a certain capacity that you will never understand. I know plenty of all going and run and say, Smitty, ting, and calling me and messaging me after the show. I don't want to hear all that after the show. I want to hear all that now. Because y'all weren't given that task. Look at my shoulders. I'm a fat guy, but look. You seeing that? Hey, watch one. Kind of strong, you know. You seeing that? You weren't given this. You weren't given the eyesight to see danger. You weren't given, Master Control, I know you're going to love this one. You weren't given the eyesight to see a man's nature when he has nothing good for you except for wanting what's inside of your loins. Other men, real men, were given that eyesight. So when you see a man telling you, hey, watch me, hey, hun, your social media presence, I'm just doing it nice, eh? Your social media presence is a kind of little raunchy. He's not trying to control you. What is it with women and control? Women who holds up the umbrella. That's what the woman was basically saying. Y'all hold up the layer of protection in the umbrella. Y'all hold up your men. But I want you all to understand this. Y'all hold up the men. But y'all also hold up the layer of protection that the men provide. But if you, as a woman, does not understand how valuable you are to that man, if you don't see it, how valuable you are to him, how can you effectively be independent? I don't need you to be independent. I need you to be interdependent. When you're independent, you are separate and apart from. So, let's assume the Almighty is of the male species, made us in his likeness. Let's assume. You want to be independent? So you want to be apart and separate from God then? Because they're independent. No, that don't make sense. Then why do you want to be independent from a man? I wanted to show the TikTok Love Mountain. But you know what, Master Control? I'm going to put in the gentleman. It has another clip. It has one with a gentleman talking. If we could put in the one with the gentleman talking as the last clip, I would be greatly appreciated. Let's watch at the Love Mountain. We have 7 more minutes. I want to jam all here. So all you would understand what it is I'm trying to say. Not just about a man's perspective, but what we as men have to continuously go through when we see y'all doing shippiness. Run the Love Mountain for me. And let's get into it real quick and we'll go to the other one. Watch this, guys.
Any questions for him? I have 6 kids with one person. Do you have children? And
yes, I do.
I have 6 kids with one person. Do you have children? And
yes, I do. Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I got 2.
You have 2?
Mm-hmm.
With the same person?
Of course.
Okay. Is 6 kids a problem, or?
We gonna make it do what it do. Take them kids to Whataburger.
Okay, do you have any questions for her?
Is you bae?
I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. I got bites.
So we have a match?
We got bites.
Are we matched? I mean, you said how old are you again?
I am 33 years old.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Hold on. Now, why did you pop?
You have a great personality. It's just, I was really indecisive with the age. And 33 is just too young for me. It's too young.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're back. I want to get in on this. You just saw what happened. Now, mind you, we're here at Trinidad and Tobago on a man's perspective. We all about not only black love, but we're all about black business. And singles is the new thing in Trinidad and Tobago. That's our version of Pop the Balloon. Singles is taking over. Yeah? It's going to be better than all them others. Trust me on this. Right. So you saw, Master Control, tell me if I'm lying to you, know? You saw a woman, hey, who has 6 children, who had a gentleman who had 2, who was willing to say, you know what? All right, it's going to be tough. But 6 children, we're going to go by Whataburger or whatever the case is. He was funny, apparently charming. Apparently, according to her, his personality was good. But still, because he's 33 years old, which to me is a grown man, a man who is going up there in age, you decide, nah, my options are so overwhelming right now that I prefer to go with the fella that just want to get into my loins than to go with someone that genuinely is thinking about spending time with you and your 6 children. Think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, oh God, let me be real. Let me talk the thing. If I came here and I said I had 6 children, granted, from one person, would you want to be with me? If 8 all, you tell me, no? Sorry, I'm saying mess. If 5 all, you tell me, no? I would be surprised. Because at least 80% out of 10 would tell me no. Because 6 is overwhelming. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's overwhelming. You women literally do not understand your own worth. And that can go from whichever spectrum you want. Whether it be good or bad, you don't understand your worth. But when men don't understand theirs because they're still learning and are asking you to please teach me as we are going along because I want to be taught. Hear what you all say. I don't have time to teach you. But a man, hey, master control. But a man has time to take a woman who walk in KFC. He have time to take a woman who walk in Pizza Hut. He have time to take a woman who walk in PH Taxi and build she up, put her in a house, ask her to make a home. But you with 6 children, probably have your degrees and everything, don't want a man that's willing to take you as you are. You don't want that? You don't want that? Here's the thing. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I literally have a couple of minutes. The last clip, the guy that's talking, that clip is going to say what I need to say better than I'm saying it right now. Run that clip for me.
Don't give, you don't think?
I think to a degree, because in most cases, women don't like to share what they've created. No, y'all give, it's conditional. It's conditional. I'm being fair. You know why I say that? Watch this. Do you agree with this, Mary? Watch this. You take a woman, right? In most cases, a woman that has educated herself, got a degree, built her life up, who glorifies her credentials. In most cases, she's not trying to be a provider, but she talks as if she's a provider. When meeting a man, she brags about her credentials, but she don't plan on sharing with a man anything she's built. But the man, when we built, we plan on giving you the house. If I own a home, the woman moves in, she can feel like she's at home. If I walk and move into a woman's house, I have to walk and tread lightly because as soon as she gets mad, she's gonna remind me, this belongs to me.
Literally have 1 minute, but I want you all to understand that. As a man, I bring you into my house, hopefully you could make it a home. However, with all your credentials, you don't need a man to provide for you, right? Great, no problem. But you have a home, I don't. You still give me the blind and come in. One argument is all that's needed, and you know what? Take your Georgie bundle and leave. That's what the woman will tell the man. Yeah, and that clapping in the back because people actually hearing and saying that is true. One argument is all that's needed. And then they're telling the man to leave. But a woman could go out, do whatever she wants to do. And again, I know I'm going over here, but I have to say this. A woman will go out and cheat and come back and say, I'm sorry and all kind of thing. Why you do it? Well, you wasn't there. You wasn't there. And I was lonely. And then other women on social media, I understand. Yeah, I understand. I completely understand what you were going through. If what? Correct. But a man cheats, you know what? He's a worthless, dirty dog. Hey, watch me. Time is up on me, guys. We didn't get any calls today, but that's okay. We want you guys to continue looking at our content, looking at our show. Today was a tough one. We got through it. It was a passionate one. And we're going to have more shows like this down the road. So, I always end my show like this. The only thing that you could change in your life is your attitude towards the things that happen to you. You cannot change your past. Believe you me, I have tried. But you can start by changing your attitude towards your present so that your future can be bright. It's your boy Smitty. Thank you so very much for being here. We'll see you next week.